Hello and welcome to LSTV1. Thank you so much for joining us. You're watching the news in English. My name is Amie Fadera, and these are the headlines from the Standard and Fourier newspaper. Court freezes Banta Keita's assets. Mayo law non-committal about re-election bid. GPA involves police in fraud investigation. Serving people has nothing to do with age, Sidia Jatta. On the international front, 50 feared killed in Ethiopia clash. Death toll rises after cyclone Kombe hits Mozambique. Strong winds blamed for fire at Kenya's Menengai forest. Shisha smoking ban in Cameroon. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. Welcome back, and we begin our today's news with court freezes Banta Keita's assets. Justice Ibrahim Jaite of the High Court on Friday ordered that all physical possessions of properties and assets of Banta Keita be frozen pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit against him. The suit was instituted against him by the Attorney General and the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Banta Keita, who is accused of criminal conduct, was charged with nine counts ranging from drug trafficking to money laundering. He is also the main suspect in connection with trafficking the largest ever cocaine seizure in the country by the narcotic agency. The court granted State Counsel El Jaju's application that ordered of freezing injunction and restraining his previous servants or agents from disposing or dealing with all his belongings in the country, which includes freezing of his accounts at Zenith Bank and EcoBank, a three-bedroom apartment at Fajara Beach frontage worth over 250,000 euros, and property at Fajara M section worth $60 million, etc. Mayor law non-committal about re-election bid. The mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malik Low, has declined to confirm whether she will run for re-election next year, saying she will make her decision known when the right time comes. But for now, she is concentrating on delivering her first mandate. Mayor Low was responding to a question at the Banjul City Council Town Hall meeting at Sam Jack Terrace on Saturday as she continues dialogue with Banjulians on council's development trajectories, challenges, and way forward. The town hall meeting also provided the city mayor with opportunities to gather first-hand information on the impact of the council's policies and development on their lives and answers residents' questions on issues regarding the BCC. Abdoulaye Souare, a Banjulian, asked the mayor about her intention on re-election. To loud cheers in the crowd, Mayor replied, "I will give you the other answer when the right time comes. God willing, I will keep it to myself until the right time comes, and I will answer it for you. That is my right as well, and not yours to know now whether I will go for a second term or not. But God willing, when the time comes and all the wrestlers get ready, you will know if Rohey Malik Low will be part of it or not." In 2018, Mayor Low made history, becoming the first female mayor of the Gambia and second ever in Africa, following her triumph in local government elections on the UDP ticket, defeating scores of the candidate, including then incumbent and now late Mr. Abdoulaye Ba. She recounted that the BCC under her leadership has achieved tremendous strides towards enhancing the lives and livelihood of Banjulians in line with her manifesto. According to Mayor Low, whose father, Malik Low, was also served as mayor of Banjul, the BCC under her watch has moved from being a highly indebted to a debt-free council after addressing the problems of ghost workers, establishing strong anti-slippage and procurement regulations, increasing salaries for staff and councillors, lowering tax for small-scale businesses, maximizing revenue, beefing up security for businesses in the city, and bringing back electricity to the council, ending its reliance on generator under its predecessors. She further recounted that Banjul had undergone a series of development and women and girls empowerment initiatives such as road construction, lightening of the city, building of an abattoir, toilets renovations at Albert Market, awarding over 200 scholarship, donation of ambulances, supply of trash bin to all compounds, acquisition of 4 waste collecting trucks, allocation of $10 million for women and girl empowerment initiative, building of the BCC complex, and a smart hub at Crab Island to accommodate a community radio, TV, and music center, among others. The vast majority of Banjul residents who addressed the meeting praised the mayor for her unprecedented comments towards steering the affairs of the Gambia's capital and vowed to rally behind her in realizing her development priorities. GPA involves police in fraud investigations. The spokesman of the Gambia Ports Authority, Yankuba Mane, has confirmed to the Standard that the port's management has contacted the police to assist them to investigate the allegations of fraud involving one staff of its rating unit. In February, sources at the GPA informed the Standard that some of the staffs at the institution's rating unit and under the Traffic Operation and Logistics Department were allegedly duplicating receipts and making away with over $4 million per week from 2020 to 2022. This medium was also informed that after the news of the corruption was leaked, the management allegedly redeployed the staff involved to other departments. Last week, the GPA announced it has launched an investigation into the allegations. Also, a source also told the Standard yesterday that 4 staffs of the rating unit, all of them young female employees, were reportedly questioned by the police and later released on bail. However, when contacted for comments, Deputy Police spokesperson Aliu Jamanka promised to find out and revert, but he never did, and further attempts to prove him futile. Sabali vows to fight on after IEC rejects appeal. The Independent Electoral Commission (IEC) has rejected Momodou Sabali's appeal against the electoral body's decision to reject his nomination. IEC returning officer in Brikama Administrative Area, Tony Seka, last Thursday rejected Sabali's nomination on legal grounds. Mr. Sabali appealed the decision on Friday, but in a short letter of reply, the Commission's chairman, Aliu Momarjai, informed him that the rejection of his nomination has been upheld by the IEC. And the reply states, and I quote, at its session held on 12th March 2022, the Commission upheld the decision of the returning officer that your nomination has not complied with the law as per the application of the Section 90, subsection 1E of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, Njai told Mr. Sabali. Sabali has since fired back, saying he will not challenge the IEC's decision, that he will challenge the IEC's decision. They have rejected many appeals, and I have also rejected their rejection. Also, So we will soon meet at the right platform for adjudication, Sabali said, reacting to the rejection of his appeal. He said he will neither give up nor take a step back in his fight at the IEC, as the IEC has no legal authority to reject my nomination. My rejection is an outright flouting of procedure and of blatant disregard for justice and fair play by the IEC officials. I will take the legal and administrative steps necessary to correct this malfeasance. This this targeted operation of an innocent citizen of this country will be taken up to assure you that I am not giving up. I am not taking a step back. I will continue to fight for my rights as a citizen of this country who has been oppressed, targeted, sidelined, marginalized by an inept, corrupt administration, Sabali said. UDP official applied permit to protest. The Standard has been reliably informed that a senior UDP official, Ibrahim Diba, has applied to the Inspector General of Police requesting for a permit to take to the street over Sabali's rejection by the IEC. We are protesting to ask the IEC to do the right thing and accept Mr. Sabali's nomination and to call for justice and fair play in the country. The protest will be held on Tuesday, March 15, 2022 at Westfield from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., Diba told the IGP Abdullah Sanyang in his letter leaked online. UDP releases names of illegally registered voters. The opposition United Democratic Party has started sharing the registration details of people they claimed were illegally registered voters on Saturday. The party shared details of 256 voters they claimed were registered by the Independent Electoral Commission outside official registration period. The publication of the details has divided opinion among Gambians, with some suggesting it is illegal. But speaking to journalists last week, UDP leader Usainu Dabo insisted that there was nothing wrong in publishing details of people who were engaged in fraud. I don't know what will be unethical about exposing fraud. The publication will send a signal to others so that in future they will not attempt to do such things, because if you are late to register, that is your fault. You should not get into anything criminal to acquire a voter's card. So all those who registered, especially in Kulari outside of the registration period, conspired with the IEC to commit a crime. Dabo had said last week that the IEC has denied any illegal registration took place and asked the UDP to bring evidences. Independent candidate Ismaila Kante seeks canvassing Kiang West. Little known Ismaila Kante, a civil servant, has so far attracted the noisiest reception following nominations for the Kiang West constituency. Kante, who was looking for 300 signatures, ended up getting 10,000 to back his nomination. He continues to draw crowds as he goes around to greet the people in the constituency. A, a native of Joli Kunda, Kante spoke to journalists at Mansa Konko, saying his only concern now is for a peaceful election since, according to him, the contest is over. I would like to congratulate my opponents on their nominations, but also urge them to withdraw before it's too late because I have already won. He said, Kante said he has realized that all the candidates in Kiang West are related in one way or the other, and therefore family spirit should prevail during the campaign. I came forward to end the continuous deprivation of my area for basic facilities, as well as to improve the livelihood of the people. I would not say we are suffering because the body bunkers will take that as a campaign slogan, but we would like to be better than Badibu, he teased. Mr. Kante is contesting against NPP's Lamin Drame from Tankular, UDP's Lamin Sise from Keneba, and another independent candidate, Lamin Mohammed Lamin Sane. And now to our last story in the national news on the Fourier newspaper. Serving people has nothing to do with age, Sidia Jata. Speaking to journalists after filing his nomination papers to the Independent Electoral Commission (IEC) returning officer in Basse on Thursday, March 10, 2020, incumbent candidate for Woolly West, Sidia Jata, said serving his people has nothing to do with his age. My commitment is to serve my people has nothing to do with my age. Instead, it has something to do with my health, my physical strength, and my mind. As long as my mind is serving me and I am physically fit, I am always committed to serve my people, Jata said. When asked about his confidence to win the upcoming election, as he is going to contest against 3 other candidates, Jata indicated that he will not face a fierce election in Woolly more than what he had in the past. There will be no election for me again in Woolly as fierce as the one I have fought and won in the past. It is not for me, but the people of Woolly who will decide. Let us see how they will decide these times. Also, he said, Mr. Sidia Jata said his commitment to serve his people has nothing to do with his age. Mr. Jata made this comment during his interview with journalists on Thursday, 10th March 2022, after filing his nomination papers with the IEC's regional returning officer for Basse. My commitment to serve my people has nothing to do with my age. When asked about there will be no election for me again in Woolly as fierce as won in the past elections. The incumbent candidate for Woolly is an Ansuti K. Sonko. The Doi candidate for Kantora district also submitted their nomination credentials to the IEC's regional office. For Basse on Wednesday, incumbent candidate Suebu Toure said he is seeking re-election to accomplish some of the tasks he has already started at the National Assembly for the betterment of his people and the Gambian in general. The regional task for Coalition 2016 was to come up with a new constitution that will usher this country into a democracy and will be exemplary for countries to emulate. And I believe that we have not accomplished that task for various reasons, and there is no blame game. But my aim and aspiration is to ensure a new constitution that will lead the Gambian people to live in dignity, prosperity, and freedom, he said, adding that there are lots of issues pending at the National Assembly's select committees, and these include the Constitution Review Committee and the Petition Committee, of which he is part of. For his part, the Doi candidate for Kantora constituency, Ansuti S. Sonko, said he is contesting because he believes that it is only through the program and policies of Doi that the Gambia can eradicate poverty. Gambia is full of imitation, and as a result, there are lots of human rights violations existing in this country. There are human rights violations like right to life, right to education, good health care system, the right to access a clean drinking water, to which our representatives have turned a blind eye and deaf ears, Sonko said, pledging to advocate the adherence of these rights when he is elected into office. And now to some international stories from the BBC. Welcome back. Now to some international stories from the BBC African News website. 50 feared killed in Ethiopia clashes. Bendishangul Gumuz is home to many ethnic groups and houses the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. More than 50 people are feared to have been killed in clashes in western Ethiopia after an armed group ambushed a convoy in Benishangul Gumuz, British news agency reports. The attack happened in early March near the town of Metekel, the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission said. At least 20 soldiers were killed in the ambush and 30 of the attackers are reported to have died in the ensuing firefight. More people were subsequently killed in what is feared to have been summary killing against suspects, Reuters report. One of those killed was a man burnt alive. A video of the incident was shared on social media, leading to commission to investigate the incident. The Right Commission said the security forces blamed the Bendishangul attack on ethnic Tigrayan passengers who were traveling on a bus. It adds security officers arrested the men along with two others from the local Gumuz ethnic group. The men were beaten and tortured before their bodies were burnt. The report by the Right Group did not identify which part of the security services carried out the brutal attack. No government or military official has responded to the report yet. Death toll rises after cyclone Gombe hits Mozambique. Mozambique's Nampula region has been battered by Cyclone Gombe. The number of people known who have died since Cyclone Gombe made landfall in Mozambique has risen to 12. The number is expected to rise because some areas in the most severely affected coastal district of Nampula province, such as Mongikol and Lipo, remain inaccessible and without communications or power, despite the cyclone losing its intensity and turning into a storm. It continues to cause heavy rain, and the alert remains for a possible rise in the flow of rivers. It is expected that this severe weather will continue throughout the week, with the possibilities of another tropical storm forming towards the end of the week. Tropical storm Anna, which struck in January, and tropical depression Dumako in February had already affected more than 200,000 people in the region. Strong winds blame for fire at Kenya's Menengai forest. A fierce fire is threatening to destroy vegetation at Kenya's Menengai forest that hosts the world's renowned Menengai Center. The forest is located about 160 kilometers, equivalent to 100 miles west of the capital, Nairobi. The local Daily Nation newspaper reports that the fire, which started on Saturday, has already consumed about 70 hectares of vegetation at the forest. The paper described an eclipse-like shadow engulfing Nakuru city and surrounding areas on Sunday, and said the flames were fueled by dry, strong winds. On Sunday, Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyagu tweeted that there were fires in 3 forests in the country. We have dispatched fire engines, water tankers, and graders to make fire breaks, the governor said. This is not the first time there has been a fire in Menengai Forest. In 2015 and 2017, hundreds of trees were destroyed by similar blaze. Kenya is currently experiencing one of its 2 annual fire seasons before the rainy season. The Menengai Center is one of the world's largest volcanic center and the second most visited according to Kenya Forest Service. And now to the last story on the international story: Caesar smoking banned in Cameroon. Doctors say there is a misconception that Caesar is less harmful than cigarette. Cameroon has banned the smoking of scissor pipes, saying it poses a health risk to the mostly young people who use it in bars and at home. About 46% of young Cameroonians smoke the substance, according to the health ministry, which is typically a mixture of tobacco, molasses, glycerin, and flavoring. Doctor says there is a misconception that scissors are not as harmful as cigarette, and the British Health Foundation says an hour-long last scissor season can be equivalent of smoking more than 100 cigarettes. Traditionally, scissor tobacco contains cigarette tobacco, so like cigarette, it contains nicotine, tar, carbon monoxide, and heavy metals such as arsenic and lead, it says. In recent years, scissor has also been banned in Tanzania as well as Sudan, though the ban there has been reversed and reintroduced several times since. Those were the main stories on the newspaper, but before we take your leave, let's take a quick recap of the top stories. Court freezes Banta Keita's assets. Mayo law non-committal about re-election bid. GPA involves police in fraud investigation. Serving people has nothing to do with age, Sidia Jata. On the international front, 50 feared killed in Ethiopia's clashes. Death toll rises after cyclone Kombe hits Mozambique. Strong winds blamed for fire at Kenya's meningitis forest. Scissor smoking is banned in Cameroon. Those were the main stories on the newspapers. Thank you so much for watching. Do join us on Wednesday, same time, same place for more news. Until then, stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our program.